November 17, 1796. The Russian Empire mourned the death of a ruler who had dominated the continent for more than 3 decades. She had reshaped her nation, expanded its borders, and left a legacy that would echo through history. Her name was Catherine the Great. Catherine's rise to power is a story of ambition, intellect, and ruthless strategy. She wasn't Russian. She wasn't even born into royalty. She was a German princess, Sophia Augusta Frederica of Anhalt-Zerbst, sent at the age of 16 to marry the heir to the Russian throne, Grand Duke Peter. It was a political match designed to strengthen alliances, but it was a marriage Catherine would despise. From the moment she arrived in Russia, Catherine faced a foreign court, a new language, and a husband whose behavior ranged from cruel to erratic. Peter III was deeply unpopular. He was immature, impulsive, and indifferent to the responsibilities of ruling. The Russian nobility distrusted him, and the army saw him as weak. Catherine quickly realized that surviving and thriving would require intelligence, adaptability, and an unflinching understanding of power. Catherine adapted. She mastered Russian, absorbed its culture, and studied history, politics, and philosophy. She corresponded with the greatest minds of Europe, including Voltaire and Diderot, absorbing Enlightenment ideas that would shape her vision for Russia. While Peter alienated allies, Catherine quietly cultivated relationships with military leaders, bureaucrats, and influential figures at court. Her marriage, however, was a source of constant tension. Peter was cruel, unpredictable, and politically reckless. Catherine, by contrast, projected calm intelligence. She learned to navigate the dangerous waters of court intrigue, steadily building support for her eventual rise. Her ability to combine charm, intelligence, and strategic vision became her greatest weapon. By 1762, the opportunity she had been waiting for arrived. Peter III had ascended the throne, but his policies quickly angered the Russian elite. He admired Prussia, reversed reforms, and alienated the military. Catherine acted decisively. With the support of the Imperial Guard and key allies, she orchestrated a coup. Peter was arrested and imprisoned. Within days, he died under mysterious circumstances. While historians debate whether Catherine ordered his death directly, his removal allowed her to seize power. On July 9, 1762, Catherine was crowned Empress of Russia. At just 33 years old, a foreign princess had claimed the most powerful empire in Europe. Her ascent was dramatic, a mixture of cunning, strategy, and sheer audacity. But her rise was only the beginning. Catherine's reign would last 34 years, and she used her power to reshape Russia politically, culturally, and militarily. She implemented reforms inspired by Enlightenment ideals, modernizing the administration, codifying laws, and promoting education and the arts. She corresponded with intellectuals across Europe, positioning herself not only as a ruler, but as a thinker, a visionary, and a stateswoman. Territorially, she expanded the empire. Through wars with the Ottoman Empire, negotiations with Poland, and shrewd diplomacy, she secured the Black Sea, incorporated Crimea, and extended Russia's influence across Eastern Europe. By the end of her reign, Russia was indisputably a European superpower, respected and feared across the continent. Catherine's personal life mirrored her political life, complex, bold, and strategic. She had numerous lovers, often choosing men who could provide political or intellectual advantage. Her relationships were intertwined with her governance, helping her maintain loyalty and reinforce her authority. Unlike most rulers of her time, Catherine used personal connections to strengthen her rule, blending personal freedom with political acumen. Yet her reign was marked by contradictions. She championed Enlightenment principles and promoted education while upholding serfdom, leaving millions of Russian peasants in oppressive conditions. She modernized the elite court while relying on the loyalty of the nobility to maintain power. These contradictions illustrate the duality of her reign, a reformer to some, an autocrat to others. Catherine the Great faced threats not only from outside powers, but also within her own empire. One of the most significant challenges came in the form of the Pugachev Rebellion between 1773 and 1775. Led by Emilian Pugachev, who claimed to be her late husband Peter III, the uprising rallied peasants and Cossacks across Russia. It was a direct challenge to Catherine's authority, testing her ability to maintain control over a vast and diverse empire. Catherine took the threat seriously, personally overseeing the military response to the rebellion. Her strategy combined decisive military action with careful intelligence, allowing her forces to outmaneuver and ultimately crush the insurgents. The brutal suppression of the revolt demonstrated her ruthlessness, but also her tactical skill. In the aftermath, Catherine's authority was solidified, and a clear message was sent. Challenges to her rule would not be tolerated. Her ambitions, however, extended far beyond internal stability. Catherine was deeply engaged in European diplomacy, skillfully negotiating alliances and cultivating relationships with other monarchs. She corresponded with some of the leading intellectuals of her time, positioning herself as a figure of enlightened absolutism. She believed that intelligence, culture, and strategy could coexist with absolute power, and she used this philosophy to shape both domestic and foreign policy. Catherine's vision for Russia was both expansive and modern. She sought to transform the empire into a cultural and political force on the European stage, ensuring that her voice was not only heard but respected. Through her combination of strategic ruthlessness and intellectual engagement, Catherine left an enduring legacy as one of history's most formidable rulers. Catherine was conscious of image and perception. She commissioned portraits, built palaces, and hosted salons that showcased the sophistication of her court. The Winter Palace in St. Petersburg and the Hermitage Museum became cultural landmarks, reflecting her desire to bring European refinement to Russia. She understood that a ruler's power depended not only on actions, but on reputation. Her legacy is profound. She strengthened Russia militarily and politically, promoted culture and education, and left an enduring mark on the European balance of power. Yet she ruled as an autocrat, using force and political strategy when necessary. Her life exemplifies the balance between vision and pragmatism, ambition and morality. November 17, 1796. Catherine the Great died at the age of 67. Her passing marked the end of an era, but her influence endured. The empire she shaped continued to expand and consolidate power. Her reforms influenced future rulers, and her image as one of history's most powerful women remained unshakable. Catherine the Great's life is a masterclass in power, strategy, and ambition. Born a foreign princess, she arrived in Russia as an outsider, married into the royal family, and faced a court filled with intrigue and danger. Yet she transformed what could have been a life constrained by circumstance into a reign that reshaped an entire empire. Through intelligence, diplomacy, and careful planning, Catherine seized control, earning loyalty and respect while navigating the treacherous waters of imperial politics. Her rule was defined not just by conquest or force, but by vision. She expanded Russia's borders, modernized its institutions, and cultivated culture, all while maintaining the delicate balance between enlightened ideals and the practical demands of governing a vast, diverse population. Catherine understood that power required more than authority. It demanded strategy, decisiveness, and the ability to act boldly when necessary. Her story demonstrates that ambition paired with intellect can achieve extraordinary results. She navigated rebellions, court conspiracies, and foreign diplomacy with skill and determination, leaving a legacy that outlived her. Catherine the Great reminds us that true power is not only about dominance. It is about vision, courage, and the wisdom to wield authority effectively. Catherine's story is also one of personal audacity. She navigated a dangerous marriage, a hostile court, and internal revolts, turning obstacles into opportunities. Her reign was a combination of intellect, charm, ruthlessness, and strategy. She understood the delicate interplay of loyalty, perception, and authority, using each to maintain her rule and reshape the empire. Even today, Catherine the Great remains a symbol of female power and political mastery. She shows how a visionary leader can take control of destiny, overcome societal limitations, and transform history. She seized an empire, ruled with authority, and left a legacy that defines Russian history. Catherine the Great, the German princess who became Empress of Russia, demonstrated that intellect, courage, and strategic vision can rewrite the course of history. She wasn't born to rule Russia, but she claimed it, mastered it, and left a legacy that still resonates centuries later. I'm happy when you comment. YouTube is happy when you share. The algorithm is happy when you subscribe. And the geniuses of history are happy when their story is finally told.